It's another really warm night at the yard. Game 2, Braves, Nats. Ryan Zimmerman, get your program. He's on the cover. He's back in the lineup. That's the most important thing for our ball club tonight. The whole group is back together except for Jason Worth, Matt Wieters, and Michael A. Taylor down at the bottom of that lineup. So we know this team's going to generate offense. We know they're going to catch the ball for the most part. Big question is, P, right now, how do you put 8 or 9 great innings together and hold on and win some games?
Yeah, for about 6 innings, this is the best team in baseball, but recently that hasn't been the case. So what you want to avoid is in the clubhouse starting some finger pointing where starters are leaving with leads. Offense is scoring 10 runs, they're not winning. You're looking at the graphics right in front of you. 108 earned runs from the 7th inning or later. That's the most in Major League Baseball. So something's got to change. Either the guys that are here have to figure out a way to do it, or you go out and get somebody else. But the way it stands, it can't happen every night. Or you lose the ball club. So hopefully things change tonight. You go out and score some more runs. It's a new day, a new game, and you got to get a win. That's the most important thing.
And you want your starters to be rewarded for their great work as well. Ryan Zimmerman back in there tonight, still leads the league in a bunch of categories. He's had a fantastic season. We just hope after he missed 4 out of 5 that he's back in for the long haul.
Well, I'm thinking with the knuckleball guy, that's a nice guy to ease back into it with. You don't have to face 97 tonight. He's hit a home run off R.A. Dickey. He'll be good. The Nats missed Ryan Zimmerman.
So the lineup's back together, and let's see if Joe Ross gets the run support he's become accustomed to. Last week against the O's, he was great. 7 1/3, 12 strikeouts. That was more than a makeup game for him. That was one of his best career ball games, and hopefully Joe can take Thursday and plug it into Tuesday night coming right up. Baseball on MASN, brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you, and by visitannapolis.org. Create your moment at visitannapolis.org. Yeah, hopefully a Curly W in a couple of hours as the Nats take on the Braves. Game 2. Washington, 4 in a row, losing 5 of their last 6. 90 at game time. It's been up in the mid-90s in the district today. 51% humidity, so it feels like 97 on that heat index. And swinging a hot bat, keeping on that theme, is Matt Adams. 22 games with the Braves. 13 of his 25 hits have been extra base hits. He's hit 270, 8 homers, 19 RBIs for Atlanta. And he crushed a couple here last night. Braves 4th in the league in batting average, 9th in runs, and 11th in homers. And Joe Ross's 1-1 career, 3 starts, 5 ERA against the Atlanta club.
Coming off his best start of the season, maybe the best start of his career on the 8th against the Orioles in that makeup game. 7 1/3, gave up just 1 run on 4 hits, 12 strikeouts. That's a career high. No walks, 93 pitches. So last start, fastball 56% of the time, averaged 91 miles an hour. Slider 43% of the time, average 85 miles an hour. And one changeup, I think he threw at 85. Here's the defense behind Joe. Rayburn, Taylor, Harper, the outfield. Turner, Rendon, left side. Murphy, Zimmerman, right side. Matt Wieters behind the plate. And there he is, he's back. That's his back, and he's back.
And we hope that back's okay. Hunter Wendelstedt has the plate tonight, 20th year in the big leagues. Andy Fletcher at first, Alan Porter second base, and the crew chief, 40th year, Joe West.
Play ball.
Ender Inciarte last night 1 for 4, a sac fly. Way inside at 7:06, and we are underway. (4-3) the season series. Nats still on top of the Braves. This ball guided up the middle, a lot like he did early in the game last night. That was right over the second base bag, and Inciarte's on to lead off. They've got their exact same lineup run out there by Brian Snitker.
Dusty's looking at Brandon Phillips. Brandon Phillips smiling at Dusty Baker. That's what that was all about.
Yeah, played for him in Cincinnati. Now Dusty would love to see him hit into a double play. 2 for 6, couple of RBIs against Joe Ross is Brandon Phillips. Front door for a strike. Dusty's old Gold Glove winning second baseman will be 36 at the end of this month.
Very good numbers.
He's had a really good career. 4 Gold Gloves, 3 All-Star games, a Silver Slugger. And he swings hard and pops one up to the right side for Daniel Murphy or Ryan Zimmerman. Zimmerman's made the early call. He'll drift with it. So they traded places on that play. 1 out. Game notes, Joe Ross. If he gets any kind of support tonight, it'll be a good night for him. Gio actually gets a ton of support as well. Bryce Harper wearing out the Braves, as does Trey Turner whenever these two teams get together, it seems. So the Braves, if they get 6, it's guaranteed win night for them. 5 or fewer, not so fast. Hitting .328 on the road, here's Nick Markakis.
Joe Ross's 62 runs of support in his first 4 starts were the most in Major League history for anyone in their first 4 starts.
Wow.
Of a season.
Markakis, good numbers, and Joe has had trouble with lefties. So what does he have? Maybe of the off-speed variety to neutralize some of that left-handed batting. And Inciarte already has a base hit.
Joe Ross, it's simple. Get everything out front. Get on top. Pitch downhill, down the zone. That's what he did against the Orioles. Kept the ball down. And his slider was real good.
Nick Markakis has been a good addition to the ball club that plays not far from where he was born in Woodstock, Georgia. This is interesting. I didn't know that Nick had been this good since the start of the 15 season when he joined Atlanta. 410 hits, 6th most in baseball, 91 doubles, 4th most. 38 doubles each of his first 2 full seasons with the Braves. Plays a great right field, seldom makes an error. 1-1 pitch, target in. Ross, some long holds here. Markakis evidently had gotten time, so that's no pitch. We didn't get a real emphatic indication from Hunter Wendelstedt there. Maybe, sure, all the guys down there heard it. Now the Nats dugout is asking, what's up? Was that a pitch or not?
That's a pitch. He didn't make any timeout sign.
So Markakis just stepped out. Looked to me like it was.
Does he? Well, it doesn't matter if he makes a timeout sign. It's if Hunter Wendelstedt grants it. And he did. He just stayed right there. So what was the pitch?
Well, I thought the pitch missed for a ball.
See what Hunter does. Yeah, Hunter looked down to Joe West and asked if it was a swing.
The count is 3-1.
See him right there with his one hand? That could have been a swing.
Interesting, yeah.
Why wasn't that a swing? It was a pitch. There was no timeout, and his bat went through the strike zone or close to it.
So the target away on 3-1. Inciarte running, and he'll return.
There was a minor league game. I saw this on the internet. I don't know where it was. The pitcher threw it halfway to home on the grass. The ball rolled, and it was way in the left-handed batter's box, outside the left-handed batter's box. It was a right-handed hitter. He jokingly took a swing at it. You know, the pitcher was embarrassed that he hung on to it so long. The ball was trickling away from him, and the umpire rung him up. Strike 3. He had to go back to the dugout. He argued for a second, and his manager couldn't even argue because when the ball's moving and your bat goes, it's a strike.
Still a pitch.
As long as the ball's moving and it's past home plate.
Wow. 3-2. Long look. Inciarte running again. That is foul into the glove of Ryan Zimmerman. Inciarte hanging on the bag until the umpire tells him to go back, and probably not a bad lesson for young players. Don't go wandering off the bag until the ump says that was a foul ball.
Well, Ryan's glove works still. You see him checking it out after the play, make sure everything's all tightened up in there.
Payoff pitch again. Inciarte short lead. There he goes. Bouncing ball, Murphy. He's got it to Turner. Got rid of it in a hurry. And so Murph, Turner, and Zimmerman get the 4-6-3 with the runner going.
It's like a Steph Curry pass. Look at him get rid of it. Almost like a deflection. What a feed by Daniel Murphy.
By Daniel Hands Murphy.
Wow.
We're going bottom of the first. The Nats hitting .274. Second to Colorado in runs, back on top in homers after they hit 3 last night. Ryan Zimmerman, great numbers against R.A. Dickey. So as you look at those and see most of the regulars back in the lineup, one other thing to ponder. Jason Worth against Dickey, 13 for 29. 2 homers, 4 RBIs, 6 walks. How good would this lineup be with Jason back? We hope to find out very soon. Dickey's 17th career start against the Nats.
Yeah, last start on the 8th against Philadelphia, pitched to Jim, 3-1 winner, 7 innings, 1 run, 3 hits, 8 strikeouts, no walks. So he throws this pitch, the knuckleball, 81% of the time, averages 76 miles an hour. When the knuckleball's going straight down, he's locked in. When it's going side to side, that's when he struggles.
And he's had some control problems. 40 strikeouts, 34 walks in 72 innings. Trey Turner doing the right thing by trying to take it the other way, but it's 0-2. Well, Trey back into the hit column in big fashion last night. Homer, 3 hits, 2 batted in. Just a little bit high.
Try Tyler Flowers. You don't know what that thing's going to do. Man, look how big Tyler Flowers' glove is. That's the knuckleball glove. It's like a first baseman's glove and a catcher's glove hybrid. If the first baseman's glove and a catcher's glove had a kid, that'd be it.
Two. Turner moving his feet. Pitch was outside. And if Trey Turner gets aboard here, that could really force R.A. Dickey into a bit of a pickle early. And this one popped up. Tyler Flowers.
Defense for the Bravos tonight. Kemp and Ciarte Markakis, the outfield. Swanson, Ruiz, left side. Phillips, Matt Adams. That's what the M stands for on the right side. Tyler Flowers behind the plate. Flowers the big hero last night. The 3-run homer in the 9th to give the Braves the 11-9 lead. The Nats would score 1 in the bottom half for the 11-10 final.
Ryan Rayburn. Often it doesn't matter whether you're right-handed or lefty against the knuckleball. That looked like the fastball, 83. Ryan Rayburn, 4 for 8 career with an RBI and a walk against R.A. Dickey.
Is that fastball?
A couple of heaters.
If R.A. Dickey threw me 3 fastballs, I'd take them all because you're not looking for it. I'm surprised he doesn't throw more.
That knuckler dancing for strike 2. Rayburn hits it hard to right. Going back, Markakis. It's off the scoreboard. Takes a bit of a right turn. Rayburn keeps on going, and he has a 1-out triple.
If it's high, let it fly. If it's low, let it go. That's usually the game plan against a knuckleball guy. Look at R.A. Dickey. He thought that was gone. He watched the game last night. But Ryan Rayburn, no relation to Gene. Remember the old match game, Bob? You could fill the blank. There goes the blank.
No hyphen hitter.
There you go.
Yes.
Matched everybody.
Got to have the hyphen or it's no good. Yeah, I tell you, he had to generate all the power on that going the other way. Hit it about 365 or so. Great chance for Harper to put the Nats on top. Bryce, 5 for 22 career. That's a ground ball to second that'll put Washington on top. And for Bryce Harper, RBI number 48. He wasn't waiting around.
I like that he was aggressive there. I don't feel like he loves facing R.A. Dickey just because, you know, he's got a lot going on, that knuckleball thing. We've seen him take some weird swings against R.A., but he gets it done early, seals the deal, puts his ball club ahead. Nicely done.
After Ryan Rayburn's first extra base hit as a National. Here's Ryan Zimmerman. Before he had to sit out for the last 5. Last time he started, by the way, was Friday night. He had hit safely in 11 of his last 12 games with 18 hits. That is a foul ball.
This is the most awkward walk in baseball. When you hit one that's almost fair, you run through the bag, and you know the whole game's waiting for you to go back, get your bat, get back in the box, because you never do it, right?
Right.
So you just feel weird doing this. And even though that took, what, about 10 seconds maybe, he feels like it took 5 minutes. Last time they faced each other, boom, April 20th. A far one.
Nats were in the middle of that sweep of Atlanta. That got Steven Strasburg a win. And here's another long ball. See you later. We show it taped. We show it live. And it's 2-0.
'18th Tater of the season. Welcome back, Ryan Zimmerman. Few days off. We thought it might be a nice way to ease into this ball game with a knuckleball. Don't have to gear up for 95 when you miss 3 days. Back looks okay to me.
You know, the fact that he has 13 for 37 against R.A. Dickey indicates that Ryan Zimmerman's really great at staying back, letting the ball come, and then boom. And you could say the same for Murphy.
He must have been sitting over there last night just going, I wish I was in this game. The ball's flying. I'm waiting one more day to play. Gets in there tonight, hits a tater. Nice.
Joe Ross, by the way, over 1/4 of the way to his typical run support now. 2-0 Nats. 50 RBIs for Ryan Zimmerman. Murphy launches one high in the air to deep right center. Inciarte, and that ball is gone. Towering blast. 3-0.
I tell you what, I watched Murph's BP today, and he was sitting him straight up and out, upper deck in right field, homer after homer. He was really working on getting his weight through the front side and hitting the ball straight up in the air. And why wouldn't you practice that swing after what happened here last night? So smiles in the first base dugout in the first inning. Quick 3-0 lead. Nice.
5th time this year Nats go back to back. First time Murphy's been involved. Ryan Zimmerman's been involved twice. Once went back to back with Rendon in May back at Philadelphia. Here's Anthony Rendon, 1-for-4 career against Dickey with 2 walks. R.A. Dickey has now given up 14 home runs in exactly 73 innings. Nats on the march to 100. That was number 95-96. Zim and Murph.
Statcast is going to break in the first inning. Launch angles, exit velocities, distances.
Rendon down the line hooking. That didn't miss by much.
That was almost back to back to back. How close was that down there in the corner? Boy, the ball's staying in the air so long right now. That was a line drive that just wouldn't come down.
"20 rather unpleasant pitches by Dickey.
What'd that hit?
Very close. Just to the left of the foul pole, maybe the railing or the padding. Rendon, a swing and a miss. What a first inning. The Nats with 11 total bases. Rayburn a triple. Harper grounded him in. Then Zimmerman, left center. Then Murphy, right center. Back brought to you by VW. Saturday, June 13th, 2015 at Milwaukee. And Joe Ross, 8 innings of 2-run ball, 7 hits, 8 Ks. First career win. Nats win at Milwaukee 7-2. And he set a Nationals record for the most batters faced before issuing a walk to start a career, 51. Guess who he walked in the 8th inning? Adam Lind of the Milwaukee Brewers at that time.
Weird.
And then the next day was the near perfect performance by Max Scherzer. All right, Joe's got 3 runs with which to work here, and he faces Matt Kemp. That ball gashed into right center. Price can't cut it off. Matt Kemp. Big night here last night. He doesn't look like a guy who's 10 for his last 44. And he has his 3rd hit of the series, his 73rd hit of the year. He's in the top 10 in base hits.
Pretty swing. Real pretty swing. Fastball up.
He's 4th in the league in doubles. Matt Adams, 8 of his 9 homers, 19 of his 26 RBIs in just 22 games with Atlanta. Chance to play every day, and he is making the most of it. Murphy to his right, nifty pickup on the short hop. Matt Kemp with no way to advance on that. He thought it might be caught. 1 out.
Couple of nifty plays by Daniel Hands Murphy. Well, he got a home run too, so he still hits. The double play feed to end the first on Nick Markakis, and this one, Matt Kemp with a nice read. He had to wait to see if it hit. Couldn't take off, but look at Murph going to the backhand. Looking Matt Kemp back and throwing across his body. Knows he has time. Tell you what, he's playing the heck out of second base this year.
There's Tyler Flowers, last night's villain. With the opposite field, 3-run 9th inning homer after Markakis and Adams had walked. And I was thinking about this after the game last night. In the history of this ballpark, We haven't seen too many right-handed batters get around late enough and hit home runs into that bullpen over there. The first one ever was Wilton Nieves of the Nats, not known for power at all.
What are they talking about here?
I don't know. Murph said, hey, I'm playing well. Don't be in my line of sight here.
You say I have to stay there? The umpire usually acquiesces to you as the defender.
Yeah.
Because it's a little more important where I stand on defense than where you stand as an umpire. Trust me, and that's where that beef's about. Unbelievable. You just read Daniel Murphy's lips that Alan Porter wouldn't move for him. Look at, they're still going at it. I've never seen an umpire stand his ground. They're always like, yeah, I'll move for you. Where do you want me to go, FP? They've always done that.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't have any kind of running play at second base to call.
What an attitude from Alan Porter. You see that? So if you're in my sight line to the hitter, because that's where I'm told to stand by my coaches, or that's where I want to stand against the hitter, and you won't move as an umpire, see, to me, that's ridiculous. That's worse than missing a call with the game on the line in my mind, that you're going to stand your ground and you won't move for me. That's extremely tired.
3-0's the count now.
That's how I'm a little fired up.
Kind of an unusual situation behind Joe Ross here.
I mean, Carp, 99.99 times out of 100, they ask you, where do you want me? And you tell them, and they move for you.
4-pitch walk. 2-on-1 out for Rio Ruiz. Joe Ross, first walk of the night.
Still talking to himself, and if you can read lips, you know exactly what he said. He wasn't talking about his vacuum cleaner.
Well, Murphy in a more pole position now for the left-handed batter.
Has an umpire and a player ever just like gone at it, drop the gloves and go?
Chopper, it's staying fair. Zimmerman will come forward. It's a smart move by Ryan. If you turn your back and go to the bag, the guy at third base might have some ideas. So Zimmerman unassisted, 2 outs. Classic National League situation now. First base open, number 8 hitter. You're ahead by 3. R.A. Dickey can hit, but as you always say, he's not paid to.
There must be some history there. There you go. Most exciting play in baseball.
I like it when the manager doesn't even mess with the situation. You should have confidence in your pitcher to be able to get the other pitcher.
All right, can hit a little bit. This isn't an automatic out, but yes, we always agree with the intentional walk. To get a guy that plays 1 out of every 5 days versus a guy that practices his hitting all day, every day.
172 career hitter with 16 RBIs. RA 4 for 26 this year. He's driven in 5. But the good thing here, if there's a tapper somewhere on the infield, there's a force at every base, including home. 9 RBIs career with the bases loaded. Late for 93. Strike 2. Seems like a long second inning, but things have happened quickly. The intentional walk doesn't count against a pitcher's pitch count, of course, so he's in essence only thrown 11 pitches this inning. And the 0-2. Right side, Murphy's got to go a ways, and there's that force play that's so important because the bases were loaded. Out on a close one at second, and the Nats still lead 3-0.
Dugout. This is what we got between innings. He is going on and on and on about it. Chris Meyer, a former middle infielder, is there with him. And I read his lips. He said, I asked him to move because I can't see, and he wouldn't move. Watch this right here. Can you go to the left? So I can see. I can't see. I asked him to move. And he didn't. He said, I'm not moving. Yeah, I've never seen that before. That's a first. Zim was yelling at him to move, and he yelled at Zim too. Yeah. He lost it. You could reach Zim's lips. He lost it. Alan Porter woke up on the wrong side of the bed today.
Well, maybe Ryan Zimmerman could hear some of the conversation from where he was.
Well, he's a smart aleck. He chimed in and he yelled at Zim too. That's what he's saying. He was probably egging it on and stirring the pot a little bit. He thought it was funny.
Beautiful.
Wieters,
Taylor, Ross, bottom of the second.
He needs a hug. Somebody go give him a hug. You play baseball. It's a fun game. He's still talking to himself. Look at him. He's talking to himself. There's nobody near him. It's fun. It's a game. Everybody have fun.
Alan Porter will have first base tomorrow, not the plate. Matt Wieters' swing, got a piece of 4 for 22 career with an RBI against R.A. Dickey.
I mean, that went from really getting my attention and getting me upset to being hilarious all within about 5 minutes. Still talking to himself. What the heck?
Matt Wieters trying to bump one the other way.
You just never know what you're going to see at the ballpark.
Knuckleball dancing, hard to catch. Wieters will at least trot down the line and make Tyler Flowers throw the ball. It was interesting when we first saw the Braves this year. Kurt Suzuki, the former Nat, was pretty much the designated catcher for the knuckleball and R.A. Dickey. But things have changed since then. Michael A. Taylor, Joe Ross, next two, bottom of the second. And Michael A. up there hacking. Right side, Matt Adams. Quick second out.
Come out to the ballpark on June 25th as the Nats celebrate Play Ball Weekend. Kids ages 12 and under can receive a Nats plastic bat and ball set and get yelled at by an umpire. Limited quantities are available. Visit nationals.com/tickets. For more information on all the ways you can play, visit playball.org. He's ready. Call him up. He's got his glove. Dad's got his glove. Love it. Look at all the gloves in the stands. That is fantastic.
Yeah. Nice of those guys to sit with a Braves fan their age. Joe Ross, 2 for 17 in RBI this year. 176 career hitter. Just like that, it's 0-2, and R.A. Dickey may be headed for a very quick second inning.
Wonder how many knuckleballs Joe Ross has seen.
Well, he just got a base hit on one. And the Nats, first time around the order, go 4 for 9, and that's the first one that was just a single. Not a bad approach.
Not a bad approach, and it's not a bad idea to send him right here with 2 outs. Look at that one. That's kind of moving side to side. That's why I said he gets in trouble when it goes that way instead of down. Good swing by Joe Ross. And, you know, when you steal a knuckleball guy, you're betting that Tyler Flowers is going to have trouble catching it. Usually you don't send a pitcher, but Joe Ross can fly. He got a big lead, too.
Yeah, great athlete. Trey Turner got jammed. Dansby Swanson. Nats are gone in the bottom of the second, but they've done some great hitting already in a 3-0 game.
Park. Dusty Baker has been asked a lot of bullpen questions over the course of the early part of this season, and he's stayed pretty calm as he's answered them to this point. But last night after the game, Dusty asked another question about his bullpen, and he was pretty candid in his response. He said, "We need some help. We need some help big time as the bullpen continues to struggle." The Nats have now lost 6 games when leading by 2 runs or more entering the 8th inning. That's twice as many as any other team in the majors. And Dusty's response to many bullpen questions this season has been, let's score some more runs. But he noted last night that the Nats did score more runs. They put 10 on the board in that loss to the Braves. And on a related note, guys, top prospect Eric Fetty was promoted to AAA Syracuse today. That puts him one step closer to possibly helping the big league bullpen. That could be one potential reinforcement. But Dusty Baker saying we need some help from the outside maybe.
Well done, Dan, with our Coons.com sideline report. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting. A multifaceted story told right there. And we go top 3. Ender Inciarte, base hit. First time up, and this is a foul tip.
The thing about more runs, when you as an offense are going out and throwing up a 5 spot, a 6 spot, last night a 10 spot, and your manager's telling you we need more, that's all you really need to know. And as a hitter, that gets frustrating if you're coming back to the dugout all the time and you're hearing, let's get some more. You feel like you're doing your job, right? And that's where this whole thing can go south in a hurry. When I talk about ripping the soul out of a team, if everybody's doing their job and then somebody isn't, there can be a tendency to get frustrated. You start talking, you start chirping, you start pointing fingers, and that's when it gets ugly. So for Dusty to say we need help big time, that's a huge statement from a major league manager in a press conference.
It is.
Usually they'll just say, hey, we'll figure it out, or it'll change. But to say we need help big time, you know, I think Dusty's speaking for every Nats fan out there. Either the guys down there get the job done, or you have to make an adjustment, but it can't keep going like this. It just can't.
Counts even 2-2 now on the foul ball. And realistically, at the major league level, if you score 5 runs a night, you should win 3/4 of the time. I mean, you shouldn't have to score 10 to have a chance. Or between 5 and 10. Usually 5 runs with decent pitching gets the job done. Murphy to Zimmerman, and Ciarte retired. Inside the numbers, brought to you by Jeep. So fewest innings, highest ERA, worst opponent's batting average, third most homers, 11 lone saves, second most. Jeep. It's been a bumpy ride. Here's Brandon Phillips, who popped up to Ryan Zimmerman first time. Well, let's hope that Joe Ross does his thing. The offense does this thing, and maybe we don't talk about the bullpen for the rest of the night. That ball is fair. Might have hit right on the chalk line. And Bryce Harper returns it. Braves have their second double of the night. This time it's Phillips.
Boy, it's close, isn't it? Let's slice on that ball. Ooh, just gets the outside of the line. Paint flying, that's not chalk. Where's that chalk down there? I forget. I know it's paint on the grass.
I think in the dirt they do lay down some chalk.
It's paint on the infield.
It left a mark. Nick Markakis, 4.63 double play ball first time. A very interesting play with one out as Cincinnati was running on a 3-2 pitch, and Murphy went point guard and got rid of it in a hurry so Turner could turn it. He was getting speedy Cincinnati at second base.
Murph's made some nifty plays in a hostile environment tonight.
Filtering out all the noise around him.
He's sitting in the mean section. Still
Turner
making plays.
Good step off by Joe Ross. His shortstop was out of position. So the Braves have a hit in each of the first 3 innings. Up in the zone, 1-1. Mercedes-Benz on the pitch cast.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one tonight, look forward to Miller Time later in the ball game. That's brought to you by Miller Lite.
Last night's game was tied for the second highest scoring in the history of the Nats-Braves rivalry. 25 runs in the Dan Uggla comeback home run game back in 15 when the Nats beat the Braves 13-12.
I remember the Nats blowing a 10-1 lead or something against the Braves here at Nats Park one year. I forget what year it is. They're all run together now, but they had a huge lead one night, and the Braves just kept scoring and scoring and they won.
Speaking of scoring, Mets just got 5 in the second at New York, and they lead the Mets 6-1. Did we hear Anthony Rizzo was going to lead off? Well, he's homered his 14th.
He did lead off tonight.
Joe Madden trying to shake things up.
Or he pulled the lineup out of a hat, one or the other.
Broken bat. Bryce Harper stalking it. Backpedaling, he'll grab it in right field, and tagging is Phillips. Bryce showing off the arm that already has produced 5 outfield assists this year, and a big second out with Matt Kemp coming up.
Brunch on the baselines, all-inclusive brunch on the field, presented by Budweiser, June 18th, noon to 4 p.m. Looks like a good one. You get Bloody Marys, mimosas, gourmet spread. Good luck staying on the baseline. Walking a straight line on the baseline will be tough around 4 p.m. Visit nationals.com/brunch for all the details.
And we will be at Citi Field. Matt Kemp. Here's where the announcer says it was a ringing double to right center leading off the second. But he never made it beyond third base. Joe Ross got out of that jam. Matt Kemp is in one of those sequences here against the Nats. He's looking dangerous with every swing. Came in the 5th leading hitter in the league at .327. You look at the top 10 in the National League, it's impressive. Power hitters who are hitting for high average: Zimmerman, Posey, Murphy, Blackman, Kemp, Bryce, Paul Goldschmidt,
Aaron Judge.
Yeah, he's leading the American League at .347. 22 and 49 for him right now. Ball 2. Both pitchers working up a good sweat. Heat index at game time 97. Two and one. Now this is a big matchup here. It's early in the game. Nats by 3. Offense geared up. 2-3-4 coming up. And if Joe can throw up another 0 here, it's big. Kemp has other ideas. Targets away.
Pretty good slider. It's a good take.
Payoff pitch. Got him. What a time for strikeout number 1. Joe Ross 3 zeros. His teammates 3 runs.
Back to the first inning. Look at the knuckleball knuckle right onto Ryan Zimmerman's bat. StatCast is powered by AWS. Saw the numbers there in the bottom, and then Daniel Murphy. So back-to-back jacks. That one 393 feet, 99.7. And everybody in the first base dugout happy.
Ryan Rayburn got that thing started with 1 out. So he's 5 out of 9 against Dickey. Bryce Harper checked in with an RBI grounder, and then Zim left the yard. Freight Rail Works with our bottom of the third due up for the Nats. Julio Teheran, who starts tomorrow night, just made a great catch with his cap on a foul ball, and that is barely foul. Tanner Roark. Julio Teheran tomorrow night, or tomorrow afternoon, 4:05 first pitch. There's Teheran looking at the ball he just caught.
It's like, I'm not throwing this to Bryce Harper tomorrow. That's the last thing I'm going to do with this thing in my hand, is throw it toward Bryce Harper.
You know, he could go through 4 at bats and not throw 1 pitch to Bryce if he intentionally walked him, because it doesn't go on your pitch count. Bryce Harper faced no pitches today.
Starting to heat up again. Swing looks good.
Yeah, it does. 1-2. Rayburn, and the screen keeps that bat from possibly flying over the camera well into the seats.
Just Bryce Harper after the game last night. You know, he's thinking, I'm going to walk everybody off. Got it off the end of the bat. He was the go-ahead run. Trey Turner was on board, and then Bryce showing that he cares. A lot of people thought that was directed toward the bullpen. I think he's just frustrated he made the last out of the game, and if you've ever made the last out of the game, it's a frustrating feeling. And that could be 2 or 3 days all built up in one, and you would understand why. But everything I saw today showing that highlight was saying he was doing that because of the bullpen. He was doing that because he wanted to walk off the Atlanta Braves. In my mind, didn't talk to him today. He wasn't on the field for batting practice.
So Harper has seen 3 pitches and swung at all 3 of them tonight. Brandon Phillips, easy play for him, 2 outs.
But the guy wants to win, man, and that's what I took out of that whole thing more than anything.
Ryan Zimmerman, 37 extra base hits now. Tied with Nolan Arenado coming into the rest of the evening. Charlie Blackmon, his teammate, has 39. Rockies are scoreless at Pittsburgh. Safely hitting now 12 of his last 13 games. Guy behind him wants to record the outstanding at bats of Ryan Zimmerman. This one high in the air out to left center, so that was some amazing April. May and June, very, very good. Nets go 1-2-3 for the first time. To the middle innings we go in a 3-0 game. Baseball is brought to you by the all-wheel drive RAV4. Toyota, what drives you? Visit buyattoyota.com for great deals.
So Daniel Murphy's had a nice night at the plate with a tater and on defense with some nifty plays. Watch the shovel feed. Almost like a redirect in hockey. Look at him get rid of that hot potato to trade Turner for the 4-6-3 double play. That's a nice play. Then look at him fully extended on an in-between hop here, taking his time, looking Matt Kemp back to second base. What you didn't see after that is he tackled Alan Porter. And that's what started the whole thing.
That's the game outside the game. Well, Joe Ross back to work. He threw a strike, got a foul ball. The very serious, thoughtful, and 24/7 living baseball Daniel Murphy.
I dig it.
He's probably second to Zimmerman on the team for facial expressions, huh? A close second.
Yeah.
Matt Adams hit one hard to Murphy first time. That time Kemp was on second. Murph made a nice pick, a backhand short hop, and threw him out. Runner couldn't advance. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nothing happening on the appeal down to Joe West. So with nobody on base, the Nats into a full shift here.
Do you remember when Brandon Phillips was almost the Nats second baseman? He said he didn't want to come here. I was in Cincinnati. How would that have been if we as Nats fans never experienced the guy you're looking at right now? I mean, I can't even imagine. It was Phillips first, right? And he said, "No, I'm going to stay in Cincinnati my whole career." That didn't work out. Now he's a Brave, and Daniel Murphy has given us all millions of thrills.
There were conversations about Ben Zobrist, ended up with the Cubs. We got the best of that deal, I believe.
For sure.
I mean, monster season last year. Joe, who thought Daniel Murphy was going to drive in over 100 runs?
And almost won the MVP of the league.
Almost won the batting championship. Some chicanery at the end might have prevented that from happening.
Ben Zobrist made a pretty good decision.
He got the ring. 3-2. That ball hit hard. Look out. Matt Adams has hit it hard twice tonight. 2 home runs last night with a base hit. And this guy's locked in for his still new ball club.
So how long is your ball club new? We got to think tailing.
Wow.
103 miles an hour, is that what you guys are saying? Right back at him. Knuckleball. Look at him take the rotation off. When you say he squared that one up, that's the definition, when it knuckles back after it was spinning in. It's kind of the other way around for the Nats. It's knuckling in and spinning out tonight.
Chuck and duck. Here's Tyler Flowers, drew a walk first time. Okay, let's line up Murph and the umpire here. It's close. Wieters moves inside on the catcher, who thus pulls it right by Ron Washington, the Braves' third base coach. So Joe hasn't been able to get a 1-2-3 inning. Double play in the first helped him face only 3 batters. Braves have had their leadoff man on 3 times, so he's been off the stretch immediately most of his night. Outer half up in the zone, 0-2. Nissan pitch cast.
Well, he must have been looking someplace else. This same ball he hit out last night, up and away. It was 96, that one 92, but exact same location as the ball he hit in the bullpen. Had to be looking either soft or in a different area with the fastball.
Tyler Flowers doesn't have enough at bats to qualify for anything on the league sheet, but this guy's hitting .338 with a .442 on base percentage. Low, 1-2. Short lead by Adams. And this ball high in the air, left center. Ryan Rayburn, first out, 4th inning.
RBI Baseball 2017 is out now for Xbox One, PS4, iOS, and Android. Enjoy fast-paced, pick-up-and-play MLB action packed with all of your favorite MLB teams, players, and ballparks. Your breakout MLB season is here. You better come ready to play. Learn more at rbigame.com.
I flinched when that ball went in the air to left, and it wasn't even that deep. It's that time of the year. You just get anxious every time you see something get up in the air.
Well, my mental launch angle said that was too high. But yeah, he took a mighty hack and hit it right straight up.
Rio Ruiz. He had a double last night with 1 out after the second Matt Adams homer that led to another run in that 2-run inning that set themselves up for the 9th. Big swing, 2 balls, 1 strike. He's bounced into 4 double play balls. And Ross keeping it away, missing. 3-1.
Rare changeup from Joe Ross. And you go back to that Orioles game. That's a free swinging ball club. You know, they're feast or famine. They hit a lot of taters. They live and die by the home run, so they're going to strike out a lot. They were real aggressive with Joe Ross in that last game, and he made a living by not throwing strikes. Basically throwing pitches that look like strikes initially.
That's his third walk of the night now, second unintentional. And the Braves have 2 runners aboard here.
The Braves a little more patient ball club. They'll take their walks. They're not going to go up there trying to hit taters, even though the ballpark's conducive to that. And maybe the stuff a little more sharp against the Orioles last time, although it's not bad here tonight. He's looking for a nice sinker here to get a double play.
R.A. Dickey on deck. Dansby Swanson walked intentionally with first base open, 2 men aboard 2 innings ago. And then Dickey grounded out.
You see Joe Ross looking back at Matt Adams. There's no way Adams is stealing third, right? So you're probably thinking to yourself, well, what's he looking at? He's looking at him to see if he's relaying location or signs to the hitter. That's why you saw the long look back at Matt Adams. It has nothing to do with keeping him close. It's just seeing what he's up to back there. Any monkey business going on. which everybody does, by the way. Just a matter of you can tell I'm doing it.
One ball and 2 strikes here in the 4th. You saw Joe influenced somewhat by Max Scherzer last year, hold the ball a little longer at times when men are on base. We've had some long pauses here. So with Dickey waiting, it's Swanson. And this time it's taken a long time to get straight on the signs, and the shortstop will step out.
That tempo here is real slow.
This ball hit well into right center. 2 hops to the scoreboard. 2 Braves coming home. There's a chance for the second one, and Murphy's throw just a little bit late. Ruiz in under the tag after Adams scored, and it's a 3-2 game.
Tell you what, it's a nice swing by Dansby Swanson. Fastball up. Did you see him get on top of that? Kind of raise up to hit that. Michael Taylor looking at Bryce Harper, thinking he had it, so he gave up on it. And a good throw to Daniel Murphy. Good tag by Matt Wieters, but watch the location of the pitch. And look at Dansby Swanson get on top of it, roll the wrists. And on a warm night, that's definitely headed for the gap. Pretty good slide right here. Watch the swipe tag by Matt Wieters. And did Ruiz's hand get in there? Nobody's going to challenge. We play on.
1-run game. Here's Dickey, who's driven in 5 runs this year. Still only 1 out. And Joe Ross pops him up, but it's out of play.
Did he get in there? His name is Rio, and he's sliding in the sand. Look at this one. I mean, that's a nice effort by Wieters. I think maybe he gets him on the foot real quick. He got a chance.
One's account to the opposing pitcher.
I'm telling you, on those extreme nights when it's hot, get your team off the field as quick as you can. Work quick, throw strikes, keep them engaged, get them back to the bat rack.
Swing and a miss. Second strikeout. Second out of the 4th. Inciarte next.
Washington area Toyota dealers help children and their families by making a donation of $37 for every strikeout to the Children's Inn at NIH. So Toyota K's for kids.
Inciarte 1 for 2 tonight. And Ross gets ahead up in the zone. Ender Inciarte, 26 RBIs on the year. 3 for 10 career against the Nats starter.
I wonder if the hot night has Joe Ross working very deliberate. Maybe he's trying to really like conserve his energy and not kind of punch himself out, so to speak, if he works too fast.
That's good thought.
It's the only thing I can think of. I've never seen him work like this.
Did he get some run back on that heater?
A little bit.
Called the strike on the inside edge by Hunter Wendelstedt. One ball, two strikes. Tried it again.
Same pitch, wasn't it? 3 was a strike. Now 4 is just a centimeter further out. 16 strikes, 12 balls, 28 pitches this inning.
Yeah, 5 hits and 3 2/3 so far. 3 walks, 1 intentional. So he's getting close to 70 pitches here. This ball hit well to center. Michael A. Taylor tracking it onto the track. And that's it for the Braves in the 4th. They're swinging the bats well. Mazda up bottom of the 4th. His name is Daniel Murphy. He has 80 hits, 11 homers, 42 RBIs, and he's made 2 fine defensive plays tonight. Tonight, watch this finish. Is it Tom, George, Abe? We know it's not Teddy. Look at George cut to his right to cut off Abe right at the end. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com. See how much you could save.
Maybe they should copy Mr. Freeze and have some track star from UVA dress in a Secret Service like tracksuit. Cool. And give the presidents a head start like all the way to the bullpen, and then have him just bust out of center field and pass him every day.
Yeah, we only get to go to Atlanta one more time to see the Freeze.
It's the best promotion going.
Here's Murphy. Best ball player going in this night. Homer. A couple of defensive gems. And the first pitch of the 4th inning is number 41 by R.A. Dickey. Alan Porter and Brandon Phillips having an animated conversation. Dancing knuckleball and diving for strike 2.
Pretty good numbers. I'd say that's ownage, even though it's a small sample size. 3 for 4, 2 homers. That fastball was by Daniel Murphy. He did not recognize that was a heater until it was in the glove. If that was a strike, he wasn't going to be able to get off a swing. Watch this. You just tell by the way he took it. Oh, it's a knuckleball. I thought that was a fastball. It was 80.
Yeah, that's a hard knuckler, 80 miles an hour.
Tyler Flowers had trouble catching that. Check that. That was a knuckler.
Murphy pulls it, backs up Adams, and Dickey wins the race to the bag for the first out, 4th inning. Inside the Numbers brought to you by Jeep. All right, Dickey, last 5 starts against the Nats, a rough ride. 36 hits, losing all 4, at least 4 decisions of the 5 starts. Nats hitting almost 300 against him, and only sticking around for an average of about 6 innings. There's Anthony Rendon, who struck out first time up, right after the back-to-back first-inning homers by Zimmerman and Murphy.
That was 85.
Yeah, pumping up on the heater. Yeah, last 37 games, Rendon very good.
Yeah, it was a fastball. You see the run. That 85 looks like 185.
All right, Dickey, 42 years of age. '16th year, actually 15th year now in the big leagues. Had a couple of pauses in his career. Didn't pitch in '02, didn't pitch in '07. And Rendon goes upstairs and can't get to it. R.A. Dickey has retired 9 of the last 10 since Murphy's home run.
You can't show me enough Exmo of the knuckleball. I'm just fascinated by it. That one didn't do a whole lot, and I think Anthony thought it was coming down. It stayed up, and that's why it worked. It's just so hard to hit because you don't know what it's going to do. You know, you throw me a curveball, I see the rotation. I know where it starts, know where it ends up.
Wieners hits it well, heading for the scoreboard. Markakis back there to grab it. Nats go 1-2-3. And R.A. Dickey has found his game. 10 of the last 11 retired.
The Major League Baseball first-year player draft still ongoing. Mike Rizzo saying the other day that this year's crop of players was very heavy on pitching talent. Well, how about this? The Nationals have made 10 picks so far. 9 of them have been pitchers. The first of which, Seth Romero, as we told you last night, the lefty out of the University of Houston. Scouting director Chris Klein saying last night that Romero's stuff plays in the big leagues right now. But I asked Mike Rizzo if we could see Romero up here at some point this year, maybe in a bullpen role. Rizzo said he's never done that before, calling up a player the year he was drafted, and he doesn't expect that in this case either. As to the off-field issues around Romero, which led to him falling to the Nats at 25 overall, the Nats say they feel like they know his history. They say he's made some mistakes, but they expect him to be a professional and accountable for his actions. And guys, how about this? With their 10th pick overall, the Nationals took Trey Turner, T-R-E-Y Turner, a pitcher. So I'm looking forward to potentially a Trey Turner versus Trey Turner matchup in spring training.
Intra-squad game. Thanks, Dan. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting. Raccoons.com sideline report. Trey Turner out of Missouri State. Same school that produced the Nats' Ross Detweiler and, of course, Ryan Howard years before that. That's a base hit. And the Braves keep on getting hits. Joe Ross has not been able to get a 1-2-3 inning. Brandon Phillips is 2 for 3. By the way, one more footnote on the draft. 10 players, 9 of them college players, 1 a JUCO. So no high school phenoms drafted yet by the Nats.
There they are. That's your draft class for 2017.
I think it's time to get into the weight room and the lunchroom. There's Nick Markakis. They looked excited to be part of the family, though.
Yeah.
Nick is 0 for 2 tonight. So of the Braves' 6 hits, 4 of them are by right-handed batters.
4 stolen bases career off Joe Ross and 3 caught stealing.
That's a great number.
Well, he's quick to the plate.
Not only the 4 caught stealing, but the fact that only 7 have attempted. Phillips 7 out of 10 this year. Long pause. And Markakis will hammer one to center, but Michael A. Taylor is right in line with it. Nick Markakis 0 for 3, first out, 5th inning. Join us for seniors stroll the bases Saturday, June 24th. Nats and the Reds at 4:05. If you're 60 and over, you can enjoy discounted tickets, a concession credit, and the opportunity to stroll the bases. For info and tickets, visit nationals.com/special ticket. Looking into the possibility of getting Santangelo hired as part of the Nat Pack that day to urge us all on.
Go for a stroll.
Politely, of course.
Yeah, go for a stroll. Right there behind you, man.
Strike 1 to Kemp.
I'm all for the 20-second pitch clock. I never thought I'd say that, but I am. I think when you talk a pace of play and, you know, moving the game along, you know, I know there's times when you need to slow the game down, right? It gets going too fast. Things start moving too fast. And you train yourself as an athlete, okay, it's crunch time. Take a deep breath, I'll step out of the box, I'll step off the mound and regroup. But I mean, if you want to keep the young fans interested in baseball moving forward for generations, it has to move faster. It does. And I know I've been against it, but the more I see, I'm starting to come around. Go ahead and throw a 20-second clock out there. If you can't decide what pitch to throw in 20 seconds, well, I feel like it's a fair amount of time. I really do. I've never pitched. You'd have to ask pitchers, but just as a casual fan, I think a lot of them would like to see that.
Well, what you're talking about was a big part of that story we all read in USA Today last week about the lack of action with the ball in play because of the walks, the strikeouts, and the home runs. So,
and I'm not in any hurry when I come to a game. I don't want it to be an hour-and-a-half game, you know,
sure,
if I'm a fan. But I also don't want it to be 4 hours.
oh, look at Murphy pick another one. Then he turns the double play.
To it, Murph.
Daniel hits and hands Murphy.
A standing ovation from Gio Gonzalez. The third web gem of the night for Daniel Murphy. He's not throwing the lumber only at the Braves. He's throwing leather too. Are they checking to see if he was out at second? Yes. How about first? Yes. Nice play. Murphy put on display at second base all night long. First the double play feed, then a nice backhand play where he looked Matt Kemp back to second. And this one, I mean, a short hop to the backhand. This ball smoked by Matt Kemp into a semi-slide slash dive, and he says, I'm gonna take it myself, jump and throw it right on the money. Good stretch by Ryan, but Daniel is all over the place. He is feeling it at second base tonight, in the zone, doing the bull dance.
Bottom five, Taylor, Ross, Turner. Looked like he stopped. Andy Fletcher confirms.
You know, if Murph plays tomorrow, maybe we tell Joe West, hey, get him going in the first inning. I'll tell you this, he's played a really strong second base since the day he became a National. It's because he works his tail off at it. And I've said this before, in New York he played third one day, he played second one day, he played first a couple games. He never just locked into one position.
That ball hit well, tailing, falling, and Inciarte in to grab it. He covers a lot of ground out there, one of the better center fielders in the league.
We showed an amazing play he made last night where he went, I think, 182 feet in 5 seconds. This play, in my mind, is better. Because when you're coming in, it's tough to judge as a center fielder. You have to be ready for the baseball. Look at him, full speed, fully stretched on a run. And I'm telling you about, I don't know, 7 out of 10 center fielders in the big leagues dive for this ball. He catches it standing up, fully extended to the backhand. Nice play.
Joe Ross right over the first base bag, a hit first time up. R.A. Dickey, first pitch strikes tonight right around 75%. Long first inning, and then he, after throwing 21 pitches there, got through the next 3 innings on just a few more than that. 29. Ross taking all the way. Appeared 1 and 2. There's a big slow one. R.A. Dickey, 5th strikeout. 2 down, 5th inning. Getting to know Davey Lopes. Brought to you by AARP. 83% of the time he stole a base, and that added up to 557 in his outstanding big league career. Great 81 after 78 with the Dodgers. Phillies coach in 08 when they won the whole thing, and he brings a wealth of baseball knowledge, base running knowledge to our organization. Second time around too. He's been invaluable to a lot of the young guys coming up. Maybe his prized pupil in the batter's box right now.
His prized pupil's got a boot on his foot. Jason Worth.
Trey Turner, look out, folks.
Taught him everything he knows about stealing bases. That's why he has one of the highest all-time stolen base percentages in history, because Davey Lopes was his coach in Philadelphia.
Took it. Strike 3. 13 of 14 for R.A. Dickey. 3-2 ball game.
I'm here in D.C. setting all kinds of heat records this week, and I don't mind it. I really don't. Send the Nationals to the 2017 All-Star Game. Vote 20 times and select the Nationals as your favorite club, and you receive 50% off selected game tickets. For all the details, visit nationals.com/vote. Hotter the better, man. Turn it up. I'm here all winter, so when it's like this, there's some All-Stars. They like the heat. They're bringing the heat every night, that's for sure.
Braves box score. A hit in every inning, 2 in the 4th. Big blow, Dansby Swanson's opposite field double, bringing in Adams, who had singled, Ruiz, who had walked in that 2-run 4th inning. So here's Matt Adams, who started that frame with a shot up the middle. That was Joe Ross's 79th pitch, 50th strike. That double play really helped him. He was at 69 pitches through 4 and then got through the 5th inning with just 9. Shift on. High strike. 0-2. Mercedes-Benz on the pitch cast.
It's high. It's not where you ideally want your slider. You know, somebody asking me on Twitter, FP, if you have the 22nd clock, wouldn't allow people to steal bases once the clock kind of winds down? I don't think so. I think you can throw over at the 22nd mark. Why, you know,
Yeah.
It might be a good time to pick somebody off. If you don't have to deliver it to the plate, you just have to make a move. And you could vary your times. It could be part of the strategy you have as a pitcher. Yeah, there's the clock. I don't know. I'm coming around to that whole thing.
I'm wondering about the enforcement of it. 1-2. Matt Adams continues to rip the baseball around this yard. Five hits in the series now. That's his 3rd for extra bases. And the tying runs at second base, nobody out.
Joe Ross is hitting the wall a little bit here. The stuff has been up the last couple of innings, and the Braves are starting to take advantage. Is that the challenge clock? Or what is that for?
It came on and then it went off.
Maybe they know we're talking about it.
Atlanta leadoff hitters tonight are 5 out of 6. The only one retired, Ender Inciarte, with a ground ball back in the 3rd. So Joe Ross has spent nearly his entire game pitching off the stretch. Tyler Flowers a walk and a fly ball to left.
Yeah, you ask what the penalty is. I don't know. Maybe you go ball. Maybe it's like football and you move the mound back to 60 feet 7 inches. And then 60 feet 8 inches. You make him pitch from center field eventually if he's taking too long.
You got to keep some doctors really busy with that one. 0-2 and a tapper foul.
Strike zone shrinks a little bit on the pitch cast.
I don't know how much more science I can take for this game.
You take a pitch away every time you have 5 of them. 5 delay of games.
A look at second. Pretty good lead by Adams. 0-2 pitch. And Tyler Flowers fouls one away.
Yeah, Flowers trying to move Matt Adams to 3rd at least. You can see the inside out swing. He's even practicing it as we speak. He's still trying to do it in an 0-2 count. 1-run game.
Out of play. When you have insight, you know how to handle your finances with confidence. Brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. And congratulations to Eric Fetty, promoted to Syracuse now. Dan had the report earlier. 17 ball games, ERA solid, almost a strikeout per inning pitched, working in relief, and now he is one step from the big leagues. Of course, in many cases these days, guys are one step from the big leagues at AA. Place where all the great prospects seem to be. But a promotion for Eric Fetty. That's close, and it just missed. Close again. Right now I'm told in the Texas League, which is the AA level, each violation is an automatic ball if it's on the batter, pardon me, on the pitcher, or a strike if it's on the batter. So I guess batters can get rung up for stalling as well.
Is it a misdemeanor or a felony?
That's a misdemeanor. An out would be a felony. 2-2, and Tyler Flowers having a tough at bat here, hanging in there.
Hitters are ready to hit for the most part. I don't think it would ever be a hitter that's violate the 20-second clock.
Yeah, it's been a long time since Carlton Fisk and Mike Hargrove played.
Can you think of a few that take a long time? I can't off the top of my head.
Yeah, not anymore. The way this game's going, guys can't wait to get in there. 2-2, and a drive to left. Ryan Rayburn is there. First out, 6th inning. The Braves have been hitting the ball hard right from the first at bat tonight. Joe Ross still ahead 3-2, and Nats have been out hit 7-4. And Rio Ruiz with a grounder and a walk is the hitter. If you can get this guy, you don't have to pitch to Dansby Swanson. And if you don't get him, they might not pitch to Dansby either, depending on where the base runners are. He's got the big hit of the night for the Braves last time up. Ruiz hitting 200, 13 for 65. Ball 2.
When do you start the clock and when do you stop it? When he starts his delivery or when it hits the bat or the glove?
All good questions, yeah. Two balls, one strike. And a ball that is cranked to right. Way out of here. And the Braves lead 4-3. They've had a hard-hitting night. Now they've got a bunch of runs to show for it.
His other home run was against the Nats, and I believe Max Scherzer. And Joe Ross knew it as soon as it left his hand. This is the same one Matt Adams took. And Rio Ruiz makes it a 4-3 game.
First major league home run in the second inning against Max on Saturday, May 20th, part of a Braves 5-2 win. Slider outside to Dansby Swanson. Joe Ross, 10th homer given up in just over 43 innings. Duo. Another hard hit ball. Swanson, perfect night, a walk and 2 hits.
You remember when Joe Ross got called up in 2015? We marveled about his mound presence and the way he attacked the strike zone. And he worked quick, he went after guys. Dusty Baker with a big sigh in the Nats dugout. And maybe you work slow because you're thinking a lot out there, but that's what we've wondered before with some pitchers. Are you just overthinking it? Are you thinking too much? Are you trying to slow the game down? But either way, just the mound presence a lot different from Joe this year than we've seen in the past.
And with more on Joe Ross, here's Dan.
Bob, one thing that Dusty Baker said about Joe Ross recently was that he felt like Joe was fighting Joe. So that might be kind of along the lines of what FP was saying. Dusty wanted Joe to kind of simplify things, not worry about stuff so much, just to go out there and pitch. And maybe, you know, he's slowing things down. He is thinking a bit much. Dusty saying, don't fight yourself. Just be athletic. Just be a pitcher.
3 hits in the inning. The only out, a hard line drive to left. R.A. Dickey trying to bunt Swanson to second. Strike 1. Hundred pitches through 5 1/3. R.A. Dickey has thrown 15 complete games in his career, and he's on track from his pitch count to a knuckleballer. Does the pitch count really matter? He's on track to pitch deep into this one, if not the whole thing. He's got a 1-run lead now. Trevor Gott. Blake Trinan was up. Good bunt by Dickey. Ryan Zimmerman to Murphy. 3-4 sacrifice good. 2 down. Nats Road Ahead, driven by your local Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyFirst.com. So a 4 o'clock game tomorrow. Tanner Roark 6-3. Julio Teheran 5-4. Julio 3-4 career, 15 starts against the Nats. Tanner 5-1, 195 against Atlanta. Then it's on to New York for what's suddenly shaping up as a pretty important series. Although the Mets are really getting hammered tonight by the Cubs. Joe Ross is done after 5 2/3. Into the bullpen. It's a 1-0 game. Atlanta on top. kind of feels worse than that, but a one-run game as we play here in the top of the 6th. And it's our Jiffy Lube pitching change. Choose a winning team for your vehicle. Jiffy Lube, for value and convenience. JiffyLubeDC.com. So Trevor Gott in his 2017 Nationals debut. 23 games, 3.30 ERA, couple of wins at Syracuse.
Fastball, curveball, 2 pitches for Gott last year when he was up with the Nats. Last year his fastball averaged 94, curveball 79. Kind of a little guy, 3/4 delivery, drop and drive. Seems like the fastball has a high spin rate late, tends to jump on hitters.
Up and in to Ender Inciarte. Sixth inning, Braves leadoff guy batting for the 4th time. He's 1 for 3 tonight. In the series, 2 for 8 with a sac fly. 2-0.
Maybe a cross up. Matt Wieder's going to go back out and say, we just went over the signs. Take a deep breath. You got this. Yeah, this was supposed to be a fastball or something. Matt Wieters goes, whoa. Definitely slipped, whatever it was. See him.
2-0 pitch. And a base hit. Swanson scoring. That's the final run charged to Joe Ross. And the Braves are on top 5-3.
Nice piece hit by Ender Inciarte. He knew once you miss with the off speed, you got to come back with the fastball, and he was all over it. So there's the heater. First bounce in front of home plate. Good effort by Daniel Murphy. So a good bunt by R.A. Dickey leads to a 2-run lead for the Braves.
Look out here, Brandon Phillips 2 for 3 tonight. Inciarte stealing 10 for 15. Got's 24, Lexington, Kentucky. Originally drafted by the Padres, 6th round in 13, out of UK. 94 upstairs, 1-1.
That quick arm motion. And as a hitter, that has a tendency to rush you a little bit if you keep it down the zone.
Into the 9 o'clock hour, Nats led 3-0 after the first. R.A. Dickey went to work. One hit by Joe Ross since then. Now the Braves batters have them on top 5-3, out hitting the Nationals tonight 10-4. Right side, Murphy to Zimmerman. 3 for the Braves in the 6th to take the lead. Big blow. Rio Ruiz, the 2-run homer. They've been pretty good at it this season. Time for the offense to get busy again. Rayburn, Harper, Zimmerman, bottom of the 6th. Up in the zone, strike 1. Ryan Rayburn, opposite field triple, first inning, scored on a Harper grounder. Swinging strikeout in the 3rd.
He's throwing that knuckleball harder than I've seen him throw it before. I mean, he's thrown that thing above 80 a couple times tonight, especially with 2 strikes. That's when he really throws it hard. Yeah, that one was filthy right there. You know, you can tell, just watch the catcher catching him. It's not so much the swing and the miss. How do you receive it? Watch Tyler Flowers here. I mean, that was corkscrewing. Did you see it?
And Rayburn will fight it off and get another opposite field hit. Ryan Rayburn now 5 for 17 as a Nat in his 7th game. Showing a great approach against the knuckler tonight.
Yeah, I think he wanted to bury this and it just stayed up. Nice piece of hitting by Ryan Rayburn, getting his hands inside the ball and fighting it off to right. Stayed up. He probably wanted to bounce that. See if Bryce Harper swings early in the count again. He has twice tonight. Doesn't want to wait around for R.A. Dickey to get the 2 strikes.
Yeah, Bryce has swung at all 3 pitches he's seen tonight. RBI grounder, foul ball, then a liner to second. Rayburn had a bit of a lean going there. And Dickey tried to catch him in between.
Good move right here. Quick move from R.A. Dickey. I think if Matt Adams tags him on the elbow, they might have had him.
Off the catcher. Rayburn had a secondary lead, and he's in there in plenty of time. So the first glitch of the night by the Atlanta battery.
Well, good hustle by Ryan Rayburn. He sees this thing just kick away. And Tyler Flowers can't handle it. Watch Rayburn top of the screen, taking off, trusting the fact that it was going to roll far enough away. So now Bryce Harper has a chance to make this a 1-run game with the base hit.
Strike call. Pass ball given on that. Nats box, a huge first inning. Rayburn triple, Harper RBI. Zimmerman, Murphy back-to-back home runs. Since then, the Joe Ross hit, 2 out second inning, and the Rayburn base hit leading off here in the 6th. Harper up the middle, that's a base hit. Here comes Rayburn. Bryce Harper's going to keep going, and now it's a 1-run game. Harper stops at second. A 2-hit night, he has 49.
I'll tell you what, that's a bad play by Ender Inciarte. Great swing by Bryce Harper. Base hit makes this a 1-run game. But you want to keep the double play in order, and the tying run off second base. What does Inciarte do right here? He's over aggressive. He airmails it. Watch Bryce Harper. He never slows down. He reads the throw high, and he throws it over everybody's head. And with any kind of kick off the rocks back there, Bryce Harper's standing on third. But this throw's got to be lower. It's got to hit the cutoff man in the chest, or not even made, and just flip it into second and keep the double play in order. That's one that Inciarte wishes he had back. Nice piece of hitting by Bryce Harper.
Yeah, he just gave the Nats a chance to tie it with another single, and there are nobody out. Zimmerman, Murphy the next 2, then Rendon, and Ryan almost wore one on the left sleeve there.
Tell you what, give Bryce Harper a lot of credit for running hard the whole way there. He wasn't just satisfied with the base hit and the RBI, trotting into first base, Cadillacing it. He was busting it out of the box and looking for second base on a throw the minute he hit that ball.
Zimmerman to left. See you later again. Unbelievable season.
Who's better than Ryan Zimmerman in all of baseball right now? Maybe the guy in New York, but I don't even know at this point.
19 homers, 52 batted in. Murphy base hit. R.A. Dickey in total control for the better part of 4 innings, and now 4 consecutive hits. Murphy wasn't waiting around, was he? Rendon is next.
Hey, where do you start here? The Bryce Harper single after Ryan Rayburn did a nice job of starting this up again, and the knuckleball stays up. I'll tell you what, Ryan just missed a home run his last time. He hit it right on the screws to center field straight up. And look at him, he knew he had it. He watched that one. That's a far one. We need to see some StatCast on Ryan Zimmerman's 19th home run of the year. So the Nats take the lead in a seesaw affair here at Nats Park. The Braves score 3 in the top, and the Nats answer with 3 and counting here in the bottom.
How about this series? Ryan Zimmerman, second multi-homer game of the year. It's just amazing what he's doing. So on the ropes is R.A. Dickey. Pitching coach Chuck Hernandez returning to the dugout. Right-hander Luke Jackson is warm in left field. Rendon takes ball 1.
They're telling me 446 feet on the Zimmerman home run.
Oh
if you're
my.
Sitting at home and you're bored right now, go to your computer and vote for Ryan. Make sure he starts in the All-Star game. It would be a joke if he doesn't.
Strike 1 on the foul.
All right, this is why you should go vote. Second home run of the night for Ryan Zimmerman. Look at him get on top. If it's high, let it fly. If it's low, let it go. 446, 105.29 miles an hour. And the optimal launch angle at 25.6 degrees for a tater.
One ball and 2 strikes.
And this is the tough part of it about an offense when your bullpen is struggling, is like how many times can you win a game? You know, how many times can you keep jumping back in it, pick yourself up off the mat? Give these guys a lot of credit. They've been doing it a lot. Dusty Baker's got to be proud of his lineup.
Ryan Zimmerman has just tied Vladimir Guerrero for the all-time franchise home run record, number 234. Nissan on the pitch cast.
Close.
Yeah. Not the easiest pitch for umpires either. All right, Rendon 3-2. Hit him. 2 on, nobody out.
I don't know how you tell when a knuckleball guy's done, but R.A. Dickey's done.
Brian Snitker gave him one more hitter after the pitching coach went out there. He's going to give up 3 homers tonight, 2 to Ryan Zimmerman. He's going to hit a batter and give up a lead that his teammates got him in the top of this inning. Luke Jackson is next, and the Nats have knocked out the knuckleball. Copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Washington Nationals. Beautiful ride on the Masson yacht tonight. Inside the ballpark, lots of action. 18 hits, 11 runs, and Ryan Zimmerman has driven in 3 of those and scored 2 himself. Right-hander Luke Jackson for the Atlanta Braves.
Their 13th appearance, 1-0, ERA at 4.91, 10 strikeouts, 4 walks. Another guy with reverse splits, lefties hitting just 143 against Luke Jackson.
25-year-old right-hander, originally drafted by Texas. Matt Wieters has faced him before, 0 for 1 with a flyout. Nobody out here in the 6th. 3 runs in, 2 men aboard.
A fastball slider curve, fastball 95. Harry Dickey was cruising, then the 6th inning happened. Boom, boom, boom. Line moving. 5 guys on in a row, 4 hits in a row, and a Tater in the middle.
Prior to Ray Burns' hit, he had retired 13 out of 14 since the first inning, with only Joe Ross's single in the 2nd interrupting that. Oh, to Wieters. Matt looking for his first hit tonight. He's hitting .381 with runners in scoring position. And there goes a rocket to right center. Up against the scoreboard. Murphy scores. Rendon right behind him. Bang, bang. They both touch home.
I'll tell you what, this is one heck of a read by Anthony Rendon. Ender Inciarte tried to deke the runners. 20 car for a couple of runs to make it 8-5. Love it. Matt Wieters with another knock with runners in scoring position. How clutch has he been?
There's a rocket base hit by Taylor. Wieters had to go back to the bag. He stops at 3rd. Taylor rounds first and returns. Unbelievable inning the Nats have going here.
The line is moving is an understatement right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hitters. They've all reached 6 hits, 1 walk. And an 8-5 game. Runners at the corners, nobody out.
Stephen Drew will pinch hit for Trevor Gott. Are things happening quickly enough for you here, Nets fans, in this inning?
Now, this is a good pace of play. A lot of action.
Yeah, we went from a lot of pauses to a track meet.
There's just something about 2 runners close to each other coming around 3rd that I just never get sick of. That is so much fun to watch.
Uh-oh. Michael A. Taylor picked off. Boy, that can take the air out of an inning. Now there's a runner at 3rd with 1 out.
That's a tough one, especially you got to walk right back to the manager. He tried to do the swim move. I kind of like the move at the end. Just couldn't get his hands out of the dirt. He knew he was out, so he's going to try to do something tricky there. Had a lean going.
Still an RBI sitting out there for Stephen Drew. Trying to make this a 4-run game, and that's not going to work. Just like that, 2 outs. 9th man to bat the inning is Trey Turner. Last night the Nats scored a lot, but they didn't win. Tonight they've got 8 and they're trying to win. So if they score 7 or more and come out on top, you get 50% off regular menu price online orders at papajohns.com. Promo code NATS50. Papa John's, proud partner of the Washington Nationals. Trey Turner, 9th Nat to bat in the inning. Eddie Romero next. This is the 11th time this year the Nationals have scored 5 runs or more in an inning. Happened twice. April 19th at Atlanta.
Guy that started the whole thing right there. Ryan Rayburn started a few rallies tonight. The one in the first and the one here in the 6th. This is what I'm talking about, though. These are the kind of situations where when your skipper says we need more,
yeah,
you look at yourself and say, man, we put 8 across the plate. Dusty knows he wants more out of his offense. He wants to add on, get some more runs.
Two. Trey Turner gashes one. Amazing pick by Rio Ruiz. And they get Turner by a step. Big inning for the Nats. Zeppi mentioned Rayburn got it started, then a Harper RBI. Ryan Zimmerman made it a big inning with a mighty blast. 446. He is unstoppable. Time for the Unlimited Baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Mets pitchers until tonight were doing really well. Cubs manhandling them this evening. Jamison Taillon, fantastic return 5 weeks after cancer surgery to the mound for the Pirates last night. Pitched incredibly well against the Colorado Rockies. Lance McCullers, back problem. That's a blow to Houston because Dallas Keuchel has been beaten up as well.
8-5, top of the 7th. Nats with a 5-run bottom of the 6th. Washington, D.C. Lexus dealers donate $250 to the Children's National Health System for each of the first 200 home runs the Nats hit this season. Lexus, experience amazing.
Eddie Romero, 2 pitches, a strike last night. He hit a batter and then got an out. He's back out there, and here's Romero and Markakis. Nick Markakis, career 1 for 2 against the Nats. Fireballing lefty. This would be a great time for everybody to start throwing strike 1. Eight 10-0 Nats, 5-10-0 Braves. Up in the zone, outer half, 0-2. Fastball, hook, see ya. Mercedes-Benz will pitch cast it.
Well, 3 pitch, get your glove. Fastball away, strike-ish. Fastball away, strike, and then he drops the slider, and Nick Markakis looking for another fastball. So nice job by Eddie Romero to get the first out here in the 7th. Nat's looking for a shutdown inning. Get right back in that dugout.
Here's Matt Kemp, 1 for 3. Oh for 1 against Eddie Romero.
See him shaking his head after ball 2. You know, I think the more experience he gets in these situations, turn the page, so what? Get right back in that strike zone with a quality strike.
3-1.
That's where, you know, ball 2 turns into ball 3. It's okay to throw a ball every once in a while. Just forget about it. Make the adjustment. Stay aggressive.
99 for strike 2. Missed it. Our matchup here, lefty-lefty, Romero and Adams. Base it up the middle, double to right by Matt Adams, and he goes up hacking this time.
Strike 1. Good pitch, 98 down.
Jammed him.
Double 9s inside, couldn't get to it. What do you do right here if you're Eddie Romero? Do you double up on the fastball in that you just owned him on, or do you go slider down the way? I just know if I was left-handed, I would not want to face Eddie Romero. It can't be a comfortable at-bat. No way, no how. Fastball away. Matt Adams is hanging tough.
And he lets it go. He knows where Trey Turner is. 6-3 double play. Good infield awareness by the Nats pitcher. And we get to the 7th inning stretch, 8-5 Washington.
where Trey Turner was playing on that, right? He got out of the way, or did he? Or this is kind of weird. Check it out. So the tapper over the mound, he looked like he was going to go get it, and then he kind of freaked out a little bit and let it go over his head. And it was a good thing because Trey Turner's standing right behind him.
You don't think he lost it in the lights, do you?
Yeah, it almost looked like he did. Something happened there because a pitcher's natural reaction is go for the baseball. I've never seen a pitcher just let it go by because they know where the defense is. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. You'd have to ask him, but I don't know what lights he would have lost it in. There's none right behind home plate.
Some nights things just work out a certain way.
Nice job, Eddie Romero.
13 pitches, 9 strikes to get through that inning.
He's a rally starter guy tonight.
Yeah, Ryan Rayburn's been an igniter. He's 2 for 3, 2 runs, pair of hits the other way. Faces Luke Jackson for the first time. Good rip. Ryan Rayburn, 253 career hitter, 91 home runs, over 350 RBIs in 10 years or so with the Tigers, Indians, and Rockies. Ian Kroll, former Nat, one of Atlanta's 2 lefties. Rayburn pulls it. Backhand Swanson. Well played and well picked by Matt Adams. How about a late matinee for you tomorrow afternoon? Tanner Roark is 5-1 career against the Braves with an ERA of 1.95. Looking for his 7th win of the year. And the Nats and Bryce Harper will see a familiar foe. Bryce actually 15 for 33 career against Julio Teheran. 7 homers, 17 RBIs. 330 Nats extra, Johnny and Ray on Massa. Braves will make a pitching change here with Harper and Zimmerman the next 2, and it better be somebody pretty darn good.
Just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. I wonder what we should do as our Miller moment today. I don't know. We showed you Ryan going deep off of R.A. Dickey in Atlanta the pitch before that. Then he goes deep for home run number 18. He comes up again in the 6th. And home run number 19. He's electrified the crowd here. He's electrified us all season long. And he should be the starting first baseman in the All-Star game. Right now he's in the lead, so if you're bored, go vote for him. Why not?
Former National 26-year-old left-hander Ian Kroll. And he will make appearance number 26 for the Braves. 15 hits in 25 innings. Given up 4 homers. Control numbers so-so. Bryce is 3 for 6 career against him with an RBI. Kind of interesting. Zimmerman comes back tonight. Everybody's kind of back in their lineup slot where we want them to be, and look at the explosion that takes place. Not like they didn't score last night without Ryan, but you just look at this lineup tonight and you expect big things once you see it about 4:30 in the afternoon.
Got another one in you?
No right-hander warming.
Got a grand slam off Ian Kroll. Bryce's swing has looked real nice the last couple nights. His balance is back. His head's a little more quiet. You get the feeling he's about to really heat up. The home run last night was a perfect swing. Base hit his last time up.
Yep. One and two to Bryce. Hit that ball hard. He got his swing slowed down by that breaking ball. Two down. Brandon Phillips takes care of that. And here comes Ryan Zimmerman.
So this was April 19th at Atlanta, and that's what I'm talking about, the other way. A little opposite field job for Ryan Zimmerman. Heads up out there. So that was a fastball up and away. Does Ian Kroll remember that? I'd say absolutely. We'll see what he does to him here. The former Nat against Mr. Nat.
That was in the 8th inning when the Nats put 5 runs on the board. Ryan had actually two other hits that night. Adam Lynn hit for him later in the game. Nats won at 14-4. Overall, 1 for 2 against the lefty. Inside the Numbers brought to you by Jeep. Next one, and Ryan Zimmerman stands alone in the entire organization, not just the Nationals.
That is awesome. It's a really good list, too. And watch this swing if it's a strike.
2-0.
You got 2 in the bag already. Watch this swing. You're up by 3. Throw him a strike here, and he's going to let loose. Oh, he didn't like it.
Yeah, strike call by Hunter Wendelstedt.
Same thing goes there.
And the curveball stays way outside. 3-1.
Pretty good average. 500 on 3-1 count.
He jacks a base hit to left. Zimmerman 3 for 4 tonight. Batting average is going to be over 370 with that base hit.
MVZ.
Like it.
It's a lousy single this time, but he's thinking, Jack. He just gets a little topspin action on it. Rolls the wrist, 3rd hit of the night. And who's better than Ryan Zimmerman in the National League? Nobody. Period. Don't even come at me with anything else.
Daniel Murphy, a great night, not to be forgotten. Both sides of the ball. First inning homer. Sixth inning single. He has scored twice. Here's a guy who's got two men getting all the headlines right in front of him, Harper and Zimmerman. Daniel Murphy is hitting over 420 his last 14 games, and he's found a way to drive in 42 runs of his own.
I'll tell you what, in a game with 21 hits and 13 runs, his glove has been a big factor in this game. He's made 3 or 4 really nice plays at second. And while I don't think he's a Gold Glove second baseman, I also don't think he gets enough credit for his defense. Agreed? I mean, it's tough to shake a label in this league. And when you get one early in your career that you're, you know, more of an offensive guy and you're below average defender, it's hard to change that. It really is. So that's why I like to point out that he's worked hard and show his great plays over and over again, because he's worked at it. He deserves it.
Daniel Murphy starting the night at .338. He's at .342 now. 81 hits. Ryan Zimmerman has 81 hits. Inciarte has 81. He's got a couple tonight. Some of the best hackers in the league in this yard tonight. 2-2. Murphy waiting for one. He hits a rocket to right. Zimmerman to third. It gets by Markakis. Ryan will score easily, and the Nats lead 9-5. 3 hits for Murphy.
This team can flat out rake. Flat out rake. You know, the one thing I forgot to mention, and it's my bad in the Wade Boggs comparisons, or Wade Boggs didn't have the pop that Daniel Murphy has. Nowhere near. You know, he was more of a singles and a double guy. Murph does damage, and here's another example. And this ball's laced so hard that even though Nick Markakis gets a good jump and takes a great angle at it, he can't cut it off. That ball's screaming as it gets to the fence on the ground, and Ryan Zimmerman all the way around from first base, and I don't know if that felt great on his back. He looked like he crossed home plate slowly.
Murphy RBI number 43, his 17th double. Here's Rendon, who wants to join the party. Hit by a pitch last time, a knuckler from R.A. Dickey, and that took Dickey out of the game last inning. Rendon, couple of strikeouts earlier. 0 for 1 career against Ian Kroll. Phillips elevates to pull it in. The hard-hitting Nats, another good inning. A run on 2 hits. Murph the RBI. probably the best in baseball. With everything that's gone on today on the heels of that horrible loss last night, how about the response of these guys to make sure the Nats are way ahead? There's still some work to do here, but those three are amazing.
Yeah, and when you talk about, the tough losses bleeding over in tomorrow, it really hasn't today. I mean, 12 hits, 9 runs. They scored 10 last night, and they need more. No, they're all right.
Come on.
No, they're fine. Tonight, you're hoping that the bullpen gets it done.
Benny Romero back out there on the mound after he got 3 big outs for the Nats in the 7th. So here we go. The countdown is down to 6. And Romero out there for the 8th inning. First up for the Braves, Tyler Flowers, who has walked, hit a fly ball to left, and lined out to left. Best pitch in baseball, late innings, strike 1.
And first things first, you got to get 3 outs in the 8th, but I'm wondering who Dusty sends out for the 9th tonight. Like I said, first things first.
Yeah, Dusty, like us, hoping the rest of the night is nice and quiet. 31,762 watching another slugfest at Nationals Park tonight. 35 runs in the series and 40 hits between the Braves and the Nationals. Three and 2. He walked a man last inning, got the double play ball. You've got a 4-run lead. You can challenge guys with 98, 99. No trickery needed here. '97, okay. Second K for Enny Romero. With more on Enny, here's Dan.
Bob, one teammate who has become a mentor of sorts to Enny Romero is his fellow left-hander out there in the bullpen, Oliver Perez, who told me that he talks to Enny often, not as much about mechanical or approach type stuff, but more the mental side of the game. He says Enny's so talented, but he's trying to help him get used to the ups and downs of a season, focus on confidence, staying positive, those types of things. And obviously Oliver Perez, with all of his years of experience up here, a good guy to rely on.
Yeah, been there, done that. Starter, reliever. Rio Ruiz, 1 for 2, a walk, a run, and a 2-run homer back in the 6th. When things looked dark indeed for the Nats, having given up a 3-0 lead by then, and falling behind by a couple before the big explosion in the 6th. Pumping strikes. Nissan on the pitch cast.
I like the Enny Romero stiff left arm out after he throws a strike. Watch. Right there. He does it every time he buries a fastball in there. I mean, just watch him after pitches. He's got all kinds of mannerisms, and I like it.
Blake Trinan. He was warming up back in the 6th inning when the Nats eventually brought in Trevor Gott, who right now is the pitcher of record. And Romero keeps pumping fastballs and Ruiz stays alive. Got him. 99. Third K.
Keep going. Don't stop now. Attaway, Eddie Romero. Throw that heat. Look at that spin rate. Ball spinning like a top when it gets in there in the upper 90s. Yeah, feeling it. I like it.
Dansby Swanson 0 for 1 against Romero. He's had a good night. Intentionally walked back in the second. 2-run double, fourth inning, single. Run scored 6, and that's nasty near his hands on the inside edge. Rendon, fair ball, long throw. Zimmerman can't stay on the bag. Another hit for Swanson, his third.
Pretty good effort by Anthony Rendon. I don't think he could set himself because he was going too hard for this. And you see him look over his shoulder at Joe West and then throw. That might have been the difference. Did you see him peek? Watch him peek at Joe West right here. Fair, foul, fair? Okay, I got to throw it. And then kind of doesn't pick up Ryan Zimmerman and throws it high. Watch him check the umpire after he fields it. He thought this was foul. Watch. Fair ball? Yeah, Joe's telling him. He's looking now. He's got to go, uh-oh, I've got to throw it.
Lane Adams about to pinch hit for Ian Kroll here. Mike Maddox to the mound.
It's really hard to look over your shoulder at the umpire and then pick up the target. And the reason he looked is he thought it was foul, but the old saying is don't ump, just throw it. Still a sweet play. Almost pulled it off.
Yeah. Arm so strong. Ryan Zimmerman actually had to retreat for that throw. Here's Lane Adams, who pinch hit in the game last night in the fifth inning. And hit a ground ball to third against Steven Strasburg. So Adams as the pinch hitter, 3 for 12 with a run batted in. 1-1. But the bottom line, Eddie Romero gets ahead of another hitter here. Blows it by him. Blows it by him. In 2 innings, 5 strikeouts. Rather 4, pardon me, for Eddie Romero, and a double play ball. And he goes rip-roaring into the bottom of the 8th inning.
Little swagger to boot. Did you see the big fist pump to point to the family in the stands? Watch Eddie Romero's reaction right here. Big yeah, and how about a fist pump? That's what I'm talking about, Eddie. Nice job.
You go, bullpen. Ball on Masson, brought to you by the Lexus RX, featuring a pre-collision system with pedestrian detection. Standard. By Northrop Grumman, value of performance. Northrop Grumman. And by the Virginia Lottery, look for the game of the summer, the Corvette and Cash Scratcher from the Virginia Lottery. Warm summer night, Nationals Park. Eddie Romero, 2 innings, 31 pitches, 22 strikes. And for the Braves, it'll be 27-year-old Jose Ramirez.
29th appearance, ERA at 2.10. Pretty good numbers. Look at the average against. Fastball 97.5. So you got a good heater with some arm side runs. Slider change to go with it.
Matt Wieters faces him for the first time. Wieters' big hit last time. 2-run double in the 6th. The final RBIs of that 5-run inning. So Matt's swing basically doubling the lead the Nats have right now. Into the 10 o'clock hour. Long night, lots of offense. So far so good with the bullpen. BC, FP, DK. Here on Masson, the Nats on top 9-5. They've out hit the Braves 12-11. Up the middle and to his right, Phillips scoops, turns and fires. That guy could still play some serious second base.
That was pretty, unless you're Matt Wieters. I mean, the jump throw is beautiful. He's made some slick plays tonight, but look at the backhand jump, all in one motion, right on the money. A play he's practiced and made a million times. Look at the throw. Hits Matt Adams right in the face.
Wow, 35 years of age and a birthday coming up soon. Here's Michael A. Taylor. Sean Kelly. The only way this is a safe situation is if Eddie Romero stays in, but it doesn't appear he will. He tied his season high with 2 innings tonight. Did that last week at Dodger Stadium. Taylor jacks one down the line. Fair ball. Hits the wall hard. I mean, we could hear the thud up here from some 400 feet away. Michael A. Taylor 0 for 2 into a 2 for 4.
Nice job, Michael A. You think I'm getting carried away if I say that was one of the harder hit balls of the year?
No.
I want to know what the exit velocity was right here. He pummeled this baseball. Listen to it. 2 sounds, that and that. Couldn't hear a second one. There's no mics down there, but that almost knocked down the left field wall. I thought it was gone when he hit it. Where did it hit? Yeah, right there, and left a dent in the wall. 107. I thought it was harder than that.
Here's Adam Lind pinch hitting for Eddie Romero. Lind 0 for 1 career against Jose Ramirez.
Up here scoffing at 107, and I never hit a ball even close to that hard my whole life. Look at that. That's where it hit. Really where it hit.
Well, they never got the StatCast.
I messed that one up the other day. I thought Bryce knocked the wall down and broke it. Looked like it. Did they patch that up down there? Did we stitch up the right field wall?
You're on the case.
I am. I'm looking. I'm actually using my binoculars for something productive once. Not being a creep. No, looks good.
0-2 to Lind with 1 out. Taylor at second. Adam Lind spectacular as a pinch hitter. 8 for 16. 3 homers, 9 RBIs. Inside the Numbers brought to you by PNC Bank. The Nats offense, these are MLB ranks. Look at the extra base hits, updated on the homers. And the extra base hits, so the Nats are 3 homers away from 100. Target away. Adam Lind strikes out. Trey Turner will decide whether or not the Nats score more tonight. Trey tonight 0 for 4. Had a hit taken away in an absolute laser last time up. Rio Ruiz picked him off at third. Inside. Trey 1 for 3 against Ramirez with 2 RBIs.
His name is Rio, and he hit it in the stands.
Can't blame it on him. Right side's got a chance. It's through. Here comes Taylor. And Trey Turner will drive in a run. 10-5 Washington. Speedy guys with some pop here in the 8th inning.
A nice check in for Trey Turner. He very easily could be 2 for 5 like you just said, but he got that fastball up and away. And anytime you hit it near Brandon Phillips, you're holding your breath. And Michael A. Taylor scores easily, and the Nats go up by 5. Nats can hit a fastball. I mean, they are a fastball hitting bunch.
Rayburn called back. Brian Goodwin will get an AB here, and then he'll play some left field.
Ryan Rayburn had a sneaky good night. He deserved that high five you just saw from Ryan Zimmerman. A couple of hits, started a couple of rallies. Nice night for Ryan Rayburn.
Brian Goodwin 0 for 1 against Ramirez this year.
I think the steal is still in. The way the series has gone, as crazy as the scoring's been, if Trey Turner wants to go, it's not time to shut it down, I don't think.
He's holding. That's outside 2-1, so if there's any count where this might happen, get ready. Not on the move, and the count's 2-2.
So a couple nights in a row, a couple days in a row, Brian Goodwin has done this. Second pitch of the game gone. I love the little subtle bat flip there. That was sweet. And then this one yesterday, a little slider down and in. Chuck can't do it again, can they?
There goes Turner. Pitch taken. And Trey in there. That's number 22 out of 25.
They're playing Roadrunner on the PA system. Great jump. Look at him look in, steals this one easy. Look how easy he steals that. He wasn't even trying.
I always love that Spike's first pop-up slide. 3-2 to Goodwin now. Another runner in scoring position. And Brian's going to take the walk. And Bryce Harper will bat again. Harper 1 for 3 career against Ramirez.
really put this one on ice with a base hit or more.
Nats fantastic tonight with runners in scoring position. Right, so 1 for 4 tonight, but a very productive out in the first. First pitch grounder. Got Rayburn home after Ryan tripled. And then a base hit. That was the first run batted in of the 5-run 6th inning. Two and 0.
You just tell his balance on his takes much better. Should be a healthy swing if it's anything close.
And if he gets aboard, two and 0. 98 tailing away. Gets under that one. Short center. Swanson out. Inciarte. And the Nats will add another run. They did a good job of adding on tonight. 3 outs to get Sean Kelly. Washington by 5. Head on down to the Fitz. 8.5 innings of winning, along with 2 chances to win 10 grand and Thursday cheers. Call 703-590-2311 or visit PotomacNationals.com.
Well, you know he's a great hitter, and we showed you the lumber tonight, but how about the leather from Daniel Murphy? The little quick feed to Trey Turner for the 4-6-3 double play in the first inning. How about the backhand stab here? Looks Matt Kemp back to second, then makes a throw on the run. And then this beauty right here, spin move, gets up, touches the base and throws to first. Have a night with the glove, Daniel Murphy. And the bat and just baseball in general.
Sean Kelly for the final 3 outs. Top of the order for Atlanta. Ender Inciarte. 2 for 7 career against him with 3 RBIs. Ball 1. And a ball hooking hard into the corner. Foul. Brian Goodwin stays in, of course, to play left field. 1-1 to Inciarte. And he'll hit one in the air. It's got some carry to it, but Taylor tracking it. Edge of the track. 1 out. Top 9. Johnny and Ray have a lot to talk about again tonight, and I think they'll be in a better mood. It's the Nats Extra Postgame Show, and so are we, Johnny. Presented by W.B. Mason when this one is over. Next up, Brandon Phillips. Seen a lot more strike one action out of the bullpen arms tonight.
That was a good slider. That was nasty.
Sean came in at the final 2 outs of the 9th inning last night. This one to right, and Bryce, nothing he can do. That falls way in front of him. Brandon Phillips has a 3 for 5.
I just heard the bullpen phone ring.
Well, if they get one, they have to get 2 more base runners for it to be a save situation.
Somebody's getting up down there.
So Dusty ready for all scenarios here.
Everybody's getting up down there.
Looks like Blake Trinan for the 3rd time tonight. Oliver Perez. Maybe for Adams later if things get a little touchy. So right now, it's Nick Markakis taking ball 1 up and in. Markakis 4 for 6 career. Against Sean Kelly, ball 2. Saw a lot of each other in the American League in the same division. That was a needed strike. It's 2-1. Now he's back even. Base hit. Now the Braves are racking up hits. One more base runner and this becomes a save situation. So Markakis now career 5 for 7 against Sean Kelly. Matt Kemp is 2 for 2 against him. Kemp 1 for 3, a double, a walk. Big double play ball back in the 5th. 0-1 pitch and a high drive to deep left. Goodwin. Exhale. 2 down.
Can of corn. Matt Kemp, you saw his reaction as soon as he hit it. That's all you had to do is look at Matt Kemp. He knew it right there. See him? Home run hitters know when they get it, and he just, and I mean just missed it, and Dusty Baker's coming out.
Yeah, doesn't like the matchup, so it looks like Oliver Perez for Matt Adams.
He's got to manage how he's got to manage, and it ain't about feelings at this point. It's about winning a ball game, and with what's happened the last 3 or 4 games, got to do what you got to do.
Oliver Perez against Matt Adams. 21st game. Trying to get that ERA down. And the league hitting .265 against the Nats lefty.
Well, this is a one-hitter deal. Oli Perez gets Matt Adams, they shake hands. If he doesn't, he go deeper into the bullpen with the right-on-right matchup.
Yeah, one more guy gets on, it'll be a save situation. So it's Matt Adams 2 for 4 tonight in his career against Oliver Perez, a walk and a strikeout. Frisbee, strike one.
Big Frisbee.
Front door, 0-2.
Another big Frisbee. Watch where this starts, watch where it ends up.
To center. And for the first time since last Thursday, Nats win. Bye-bye to the 4-game losing streak. Bullpen does the job tonight. Unscored upon. And Trevor Gott came in the 6th inning. So well done by the pen and Ryan Zimmerman, as well as a lot of his buddies with the bats.